26 million people follow Professor Jiang for his political predictions. He has never taught at a university, not once. Here is who he actually is and why that matters for how you should watch his videos. Here is why this is not just internet gossip. When someone frames speculation as academic theory, game theory, historical pattern analysis, lecture style delivery, they are borrowing credibility they haven't earned. And with 77 million total views, that borrowed credibility reaches a lot of people making real judgments about wars, markets, and geopolitics based on it. That's the actual stakes here, not whether one guy is annoying, but whether people are outsourcing real judgment to a performance of expertise that doesn't exist. Let's separate facts from framing. His real name is Jiang Ji Qin. Born in China, raised in Canada after his family immigrated. He studied English literature at Yale, not political science, not international relations, not game theory. After that, he spent roughly 20 years as a teacher and school administrator in China, plus about a year editing for the New York Times China Bureau. Since 2022, he taught at a Beijing high school. That's the actual biography, verified and public. Now, his channel, Predictive History, presents him lecturing on camera, styled like an academic delivering scholarship. But according to Real Sciences review of his background, if he has genuine expertise in any single field, it's education, not political forecasting. He became famous of one video in 2024 correctly predicting Trump's return to power and a war with Iran. That single hit is largely what built his current audience. Since then, according to a track record review by NDTV, proved he's gotten at least three major predictions completely wrong, including calls about a giant US-Israeli ground invasion of Iran and the demolition of a specific mosque. Here is the actual critique, and I think it's a fair one. Real Sciences point out that many of his podcasts are simply binary yes or no calls. Their argument, anyone with zero expertise could flip a coin and land on a similar hit rate. The lecture format, the professor title, the game theory, framing, none of that changes the underlying math of a coin flip. It just makes the coin flip look rigorous. And this matters because it's a pattern, not a one-off. Dressing up plain speculation in scientific or academic language without the actual credentials, peer review or falsifiable methodology behind it is exactly the red flag researchers use to spot pseudo expertise across other fields too, from health influencers to financial experts. My take, I don't think Jiang is necessarily acting in a bad path. Plenty of commentators build a professor persona because it performs well on YouTube, not because they are trying to deceive anything maliciously. But the effect on the audience is the same either way. Real credibility, unearned, shaping how millions of people think about war and geopolitics. So here is my actual advice and my prediction. Watch his content if you want. One correct high profile call doesn't make someone a fraud, and a wrong call doesn't either. But track his actual hit rate the way you judge any podcaster, not the way you judge a professor's authority. I would bet his win rate settles close to what you would expect from educated guessing on binary geopolitical questions, somewhere near a coin flip, maybe slightly better given his general knowledge of history. That's not an insult. That's just what happens when speculation gets a lecture hall backdrop instead of a track record. Do you think content like this should carry some kind of disclosure, or is buyer beware enough for viewers? Tell me where you land.